All right, let's just jump right in. I want you to forget the computer on your desk. Heck, forget the biggest supercomputer in some secret government lab. Today we're talking about a computer so ridiculously vast, so powerful, that it's built around an entire star. Yeah, this is the absolutely mind-bending concept of the Matrioshka Brain. And believe it or not, this whole cosmic idea, it all starts with something you've probably seen before, the classic Russian Matryoshka doll. You know the ones, the little wooden dolls that nest one inside the other, inside the other. Just hang on to that simple, clever idea of a shell within a shell, because we're about to scale it up to, well, cosmic proportions.
So what is this thing exactly? A Matrioshka brain is a theoretical megastructure, right? It's a computer with a power that's, well, it's almost impossible to really imagine. The basic idea is to build these massive, nested spheres around a star, one after the other, to capture every single watt of its energy and use all of it for pure computation. It's the ultimate machine for both energy efficiency and raw processing power.
Okay, so how in the world do you get from a simple little wooden toy to a piece of technology this staggering? Let's break that down. I really want to land on the scale here for a second. We are not talking about a machine that sits in a solar system. We're talking about a computer that is the solar system. Each one of those layers, each shell, is its own massive computer, and they're all working together as one single colossal brain. And, you know, this isn't some new idea cooked up for a sci-fi movie last year. The concept was actually proposed way back in 1997 by a futurist named Robert J. Bradbury. From there, it kind of exploded into science fiction and our collective imagination. And today, it really stands as this ultimate benchmark for what a civilization could, theoretically, one day achieve. But the big question, right? How on Earth, or I guess how in space, could you possibly power something like this? Well, the answer actually comes from another, even more famous megastructure idea. And this right here, this is the engine of the whole machine. The very first layer, the one closest to the star, is a Dyson sphere. It's a structure that would completely surround the star. Its one and only job? To capture 100% of that star's energy output. Not some of it, all of it. And that captured energy doesn't just power this one layer. It's what kicks off this incredible chain reaction. So, you've got all this energy. The crucial part, the genius part, is how it's actually used. This is where that nesting doll concept becomes so smart. It's all about recycling heat. Okay, look how elegant this is. The first sphere, running scorching hot, uses the star's direct energy to do its computing. But like any computer, it generates a ton of waste heat. Now, instead of just letting that heat radiate out into space, the next shell out actually absorbs that heat and uses it as a power source. Then that second shell computes, releases its own slightly cooler waste heat, which powers the third shell. You see, the energy just cascades outwards, getting used over and over and over again, until the very last shell is almost as cold as deep space. Absolutely nothing is wasted. Now, it's really important to get its purpose straight. You might have heard of a Jupiter brain, which sounds kind of similar, but there's a key difference here, and it's all about what you're optimizing for. A Jupiter brain is built for pure speed. It's all about how fast you can get an answer. But a Matryoshka brain? It's built for one thing and one thing only: sheer, raw, unbelievable computational capacity. It's for problems so huge you don't need a quick answer, you need to process a data set the size of a galaxy. And that brings us to the part of this that just absolutely expands your mind. If you had that much computing power, what would you even do with it? I mean it. Really think about that for a second. If you had the total energy output of our sun to run calculations, what's the first thing on your to-do list? The possibilities, they're not just big, they're nothing short of godlike. So here's where we get to the why. A civilization might build this to, solve mortality. Just upload every single mind into a perfect custom-built virtual reality that lasts for eternity. Or maybe the goal is even bigger. Maybe it's to answer the ultimate questions. You could run a perfect simulation of our own universe, just to watch the Big Bang happen over and over. Or you could create brand new universes with totally different laws of physics, just to see what happens. We're not just talking about understanding physics anymore. We're talking about mastering it. Maybe even learning how to manipulate the very fabric of our own reality. And this quote from the sci-fi novel Accelerando just nails the terrifying and awesome potential of it all. It's that point where technology stops just looking at the universe and starts, rewriting it. That is a truly profound and, let's be honest, a pretty unsettling thought. So all of this leads to one final huge question about where this is all going. I mean, is this the ultimate destiny for any intelligent life out there in the cosmos?
You have to wonder, right? When a civilization gets advanced enough, does all of its technology, all of its evolution, does it eventually just converge on this one single goal, turning dumb matter into a perfect computing machine, just to maximize intelligence? Is this the final project?
You can kind of think of it as a theoretical omega point. The ultimate final state of complexity and consciousness. It's the absolute peak of power on the Kardashev scale, which is how we measure how advanced a civilization is. And maybe this is the truest definition of a technological singularity, that moment when intelligence completely saturates a region of space and time. It leaves you with a really chilling final question, though. If one of these things already exists out there, humming away quietly in the dark, how would we ever even know?